This is Friday the 13th, a love letter of a game for all the fans that grew up on horror films and more specifically the Friday the 13th series. This is a survival horror multiplayer game that pits the counselors of the series against Jason Voorhees himself. If you've ever played or seen the game Dead by Daylight, you'll be very familiar with the concept of the Friday the 13th game and its gameplay. Jason is back and he's murdering all the camp counselors he can find. As a counselor, you're trying to escape and survive the night. Each game match is 20 minutes, giving you enough time to explore your options of escape, but also giving Jason enough time to have some fun. When playing as a counselor, you'll get a mini-map at the bottom right of your screen. This mini-map tells you if there's a cabin/larger house nearby, as well as other objects vital to your survival. These are places you'll want to explore for items and tools that help you escape, along with helping you defend yourself against Jason. Around the minimap is a red ring, and this is your stamina gauge. Different characters have different stamina stats, so take that into consideration when choosing your character. You use up your stamina when jogging or running, and it gets replenished whenever you're walking or just standing. You're actually going to want to crouch if you want that to get replenished faster too. On the bottom left of your screen are your item pickups. These are sort of like secondary items to your main weapon. These can be first aid kits that help replenish your health, fireworks that help keep Jason distracted from you, or maybe a pocket knife for a quick escape if Jason manages to grab you. Now let's talk about surviving as a counselor. Scattered across the map are weapons that you can use to fight off Jason if you're ever so daring. You can use an axe, a frying pan, machete, heck you can even use a stick if you're that desperate. You can melee attack Jason with these and knock him down to the ground, giving you just enough time to run away. You can also go into a combat stance if you're being chased by Jason. In this mode you can try dodging Jason's attack while you're dealing your own. You can also find shotguns and flare guns around the map. Shotguns will actually knock down Jason just like if you were to get a good hit on them with a melee weapon, while the flare gun distracts him like some fireworks would. You can also find bear traps around cabins. Be sure to use these wisely in front of doors. It's always a good strategy to lock already explored cabins and set these bear traps right in front of those doors. There's also hiding spots all around the map. These are good places for you to replenish your stamina but also hide away from Jason if you know he's nearby. You can hide in cabinets, abandoned tents, or underneath beds. Use these as temporary spots for your recovery. You don't want to stay in them for too long or your fear levels will raise up and Jason will notice. While playing the game, you'll hear some thrilling music in the background familiar to the Friday the 13th series. It's important that you listen to and notice the differences in the music because some of them are just meant to be thrilling and some of them are there to notify you that Jason is nearby. Escaping is the other half of the counselor gameplay, and it's the main way to win the game, or technically the suggested way. There's multiple routes to your escape. You can call the police by finding a phone box fuse and repairing the telephone line. This will call the police to the camp with an arrival time of 5 minutes. Once the timer is up, all you need to do is reach one of the exit points on the map and reach the safety of the police. You can also repair one of the vehicles on the map. This can either be a boat or a car. If it's a car, all you need to do to fix it is get some gasoline, a car battery, and some car keys, while the boat just needs a propeller and some gasoline. You could then take one of these fixed vehicles and ride them to the safety exits on the map. If you're lucky enough to find a CB radio in one of the cabins, you can also use it to call Tommy Jarvis. Tommy is a hunter, and when he's called in, a random dead or escaped player will spawn back into the match as Tommy to help you survive the night. He's not invincible by any means, but he has a shotgun and his increased stats make him a very valuable character. Counselors have their own range of stats that give each of them a unique feeling or playstyle. These stats range on a 10-point scale consisting of composure when being stalked by Jason, stamina, stealth, strength, and your luck, just to name a few. You start off with just one counselor as an option, but as you keep playing you'll gain XP that'll level you up and unlock new characters for you to play as. You can then purchase these unlocked characters using CP or customization points that you earn while playing the game. You can further customize your counselors too by adding new clothing or perks that give you bonuses within the match. These perks can also be purchased at random for 500 CP a pop, and what I really like about them is that they're color coordinated based on their rarity, to let you know how rare and valuable these perks are to you. Now let's talk about the man with the face only a decapitated dead mother could love, Jason Voorhees. Jason is a hunter, he's out to kill. As the mass murderer, you have 4 supernatural abilities that aid you on your hunt. You're able to morph around the map. This will pull up an overview of the map where you can select a teleportation spot to go to. The sense abilities let you identify counselors with high levels of fear. These players will give off a red glow, giving you a nice idea on where to find some new prey. You also have the power to break down locked doors or even break through certain thin walls. Use these powers with the sense ability wisely for some interesting kills. The shift ability is probably one of the most OP powers that Jason has. It makes Jason invisible for a few seconds and lets him quickly teleport to a nearby location. It's definitely a power that I think needs a longer cooldown because Jason can easily replenish it and keep teleporting to people who go run away from him. The last ability is a stock power that mutes the music that warns counselors of Jason's presence. Occasionally you'll also auto-activate the Rage mode that gives Jason's powers a buff. All of these powers are slowly unlocked during the duration of the match, going in a clockwise order starting from the Morph ability. You can go the old-fashioned route of just hacking and slashing at enemies, but you can also perform grab and context kills. Grab kills are done by grabbing a counselor and activating one of your pre-match equipped kills. These are quite brutal to watch. The context kills vary on your location. For example, if you're near a fireplace, you can throw a counselor in there, burning their head into a crisp. These can get quite clever, so be sure to pay attention to your surroundings when going after a counselor. Aside from the kills, you can also wound the counselors by setting traps and throwing knives at them. Jason has homemade bear traps that you can set across the map to trick counselors into sticky situations. Knives are also a good range weapon to use to slow down counselors if they're running away from you. You can find these knives scattered all across the map too. Just like how you can choose different counselors to play as, you can also choose different Jasons to play as. The Jason characters range across the multiple films he's been in with different strengths and weaknesses. For example, Jason from Friday the 13th Part 6 can't run very well, but he can throw knives very effectively, while Jason from Friday the 13th Part 3 can run really well but gets stunned easily. While you can't add perks to Jason like you can the counselors, what you can customize are his kills, equipping up to 4 different kinds of brutal murders. As for the extra content outside of the main game, you can earn badges that act like in-game achievements. These can be earned for healing teammates, killing all the counselors as Jason, or doing something really cool like removing Jason's mask. You can even unlock Pamela's tapes that give you some insight from Jason's mother herself. Now, I've had access to the game for a few days now, and it should be noted that we weren't given the Day 1 patch that's supposed to release when the game comes out on May 26. This Day 1 patch is supposed to fix a lot of the crash problems that people have had on the PC version of the game, though I should note that I personally haven't had any of these crashes while playing my PC copy of the game. The problems that I've noticed while playing the game are more focused on the presentation and the aesthetics of the game. Animations in this game are bad for the most part, more specifically the interaction and the facial animations. When starting a match, you'll be presented with a somewhat low quality video intro of Jason killing the counselors on the map you're going to play on. The blonde preppy looking character in these intros look terrible, on par with the bugs we saw in earlier Assassin's Creed games a few years ago. Additionally, when being chased down by Jason, the counselors make these weird scared horrified expressions that look frozen and so unnatural to look at. It ends up looking more funny than horrified. Hair physics are also a complete mess, with the heads of my characters looking insane in the middle of a kill. When the kill animations are done right, they look gruesome and straight up painful to watch in a good way, striking the itch of the horror fan that's most likely playing this game. However, when these animations run into trouble, they can quite literally be a pain to look at in a bad way. There's been a few times where I'm just floating mid-air while being grabbed by Jason, and it's very unorganic to look at, and it sucks because you can tell that the designers put some attention to detail when recreating a lot of these famous Jason kills, but they fall flat at times whenever the bad animation strikes. I think one of the biggest offenders of the animation woes was when my team was trying to escape on a boat. Jason was chasing us down and somehow got on the boat while we were leaving, letting him float mid-air for a few seconds. For a game that was so heavily advertised on paying attention to the smallest of Friday the 13th details for the fans, I feel like it was the basic animation that took a hit with the game. Aside from my problem with the aesthetics and the animation, the only other thing that comes to mind is the timer. When you die in the middle of a match, you're forced to spectate and watch the rest of the match in order to gain your XP. The problem with that is that these matches take at most 20 minutes. If you die early on in the game, that means you're spectating for roughly 15 minutes a match, waiting for everyone else to die, or survive, or just for you to get summoned back as Tommy. It can definitely feel like a chore at times. There's no doubt in my mind that you'll find enjoyment and just general fun when playing this game. It's engaging, thrilling, and especially a great time when playing with a party of friends together. With that said, I feel like there's some blemishes on the surface of the game that do need some work done. The attention to the smaller details for horror fans is really appreciated, but some of the bigger details were missed in the process. Friday the 13th launches on May 26 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One at a retail price of $40. Thank you all very much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, let me know by hitting that like button and get yourself subscribed if you haven't already. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and also be sure to hit up the description where you can find my Discord and Instagram link. Very active on those, so if you ever want to interact with me, that's your best option. Thank you all very much for watching, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.